Today is February 6th, 2024. My name is Melissa Ackerman, and I will be interviewing Artyce Colen at Legacy Willow Bend. Hey Artyce, how are you doing today?
Fine. How are you?
Good. Tell me about your family, your parents, your grandparents, when and where you were born.
I was born in Dallas, Texas, a long time ago. My parents, my mother was born, both of my parents were born in the United States. The grandparents, however, were not, of course. And we all lived together when I was young.
What was your maiden name?
Aronson.
Okay. And so your parents, where did their families come from before them?
My father came from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
My mother from Wolf City, Texas.
Okay. And your grandparents, were they European?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly where.
What part of town did you live in?
South Dallas. There was no North Dallas then.
And did you have extended family that lived near you?
We all lived together, yeah. We lived in a two-story house. My grandparents were on the first floor, and we were on the second floor.
And did you have any cousins that lived in town? Extended family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had a bunch of them all in South Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Who were they?
Oh,
what other families were they?
Edwin Jacobs. His father was Abe Jacobs, who was my mother's brother. And then Aunt Rosa, she had several children. She lived down the way.
Mm-hmm. What street did you live on?
Park Row.
Park Road and
2430.
2430. And did you have a lot of Jewish neighbors?
Yeah, they were all Jewish.
Who were some of the other people that lived down there?
You're stretching.
Okay, well.
You know, I remember Shirley, but...
Okay. Did you have any siblings?
Yes. 5-year younger sister, Irma Grossman, who's at the other Legacy.
Uh-huh.
And she'll remember more than I will.
Well, we'll try to get her to sit down with us, too. So tell me some things. What did you like to do when you were growing up?
Color. I spent most of my time coloring.
You always had something to do art with?
Yeah.
And you later turned that into...
I just kept going with it.
Mm-hmm. And you're an artist. And you had a studio for how many years?
Oh, until just last year.
What kind of art did you do?
Well, I first did painting, oil paintings, and then abruptly changed to wood. Don't ask me why, I still don't know. But then I got all the power tools, and I did that for a number of years. That was easier than the oils.
Mm-hmm. And tell me, were you involved in any different Jewish activities when you were growing up? Were there any organizations that you went to?
They didn't have that BBY when I was young.
Did your family belong to a synagogue?
Yeah, Temple Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
Still do.
After all these years?
Mm-hmm.
And that was when the synagogue, the temple was down in South Dallas?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We went to when we gave it over to the other group that took it over. Okay. It was a black community that took over that when Temple moved.
Okay. And did you, where did you go to high school?
Highland Park High School.
Mm-hmm. And did you go to college?
Yeah, Texas.
You went to Texas. And then, did you graduate?
Yeah.
Okay. And so did you move back to Dallas when you graduated, or did you go someplace else?
Yeah, no, I've always been here.
Always been in Dallas?
Well, because I didn't get married right out of college.
And how did you meet your husband?
At a party, I think.
Where was he from?
Well, his parents were from Texas, but they were living temporarily in California because their other son lived there.
Mm-hmm. And how did you meet? Just at a party?
Just at a party. And I was supposed to sit at his table, and my date made other arrangements, and so we went by to say hello.
Okay. And when was that?
1955, when we got married.
Okay. How long did you date?
We dated a couple of years, so it must have been 52 or 3
Mm-hmm.
when we met.
Okay. And what kind of work did he do?
He manufactured, well, he didn't know what he wanted to do at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He started doing sprinkler systems. He was a chemical engineer. And then he went in the brick business, which our son is still running today.
That's great. And you have additional family
He didn't know
members?
one thing about bricks.
So what?
Just by the grace of God and
He just learned it.
As he went. And it was hard.
I bet.
He said it was like having a tiger by the tail and not being able to let go.
And where was the factory?
In Lancaster, Texas.
And is it still there today? Same factory?
It's hard to move it.
Oh yeah, a lot of bricks.
And the reason it's there is because land was cheap there.
Mm-hmm. And so
we didn't think about not moving it.
So who is involved in the business today?
My son and his son.
Okay.
So they're all still there.
Okay. Tell me about your family. So you got married and then you had
2 children.
Mm-hmm.
A girl first and
Mm-hmm.
then a boy.
Mm-hmm. And
then
they grew up and you have some grandchildren?
yes, I have 3.
Tell me about
Randy has 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter Kim had 1.
Okay.
I lost her, to cancer
Yes, I do.
when she was 44.
Okay. Were you involved? Was your family involved in Temple when you were growing up?
Mm-hmm.
In activities, were they
Yeah,
involved in different organizations
My
or
mother
anything?
was a teacher. My aunt was a teacher.
Mm-hmm. And so, did you have family traditions of holidays or anything that you'd celebrate?
Right. And when we got married, we went Friday nights to my parents' house.
Mm-hmm. And how long were your parents? Did your parents live?
My mother would never tell us how old she was, so I do not know. We made a guess to put on the stone.
So you never knew.
We never found out.
Was she just trying to be coy, or did she not know?
I'm not sure. I think she just didn't want to tell us.
Mm-hmm. Lady's not supposed to tell her age, right?
Well, that's so dumb.
So tell me about some other things that you did after you got out of college. And
Well, I worked at the newspaper in the art department
mm-hmm.
for a couple of years. And that was fun, knowing all the news before anybody else did.
Were you with the Morning News or the
Times Herald.
Times Herald?
They're now defunct.
Right, for a long time. And what did you do there? You were an
I was
artist?
in the art department.
Okay. And then what did you do when you left that?
After that, I worked at Neiman's for a while.
Doing what?
Selling
You did? Okay.
and buying.
Where were you located?
I
Downtown?
was when I first got there, the man that interviewed me wanted me to come in his department. I didn't want to.
Why?
Because that's not my thing, interviewing people
Okay.
for a job.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't want to say no. I thought he wouldn't hire me.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I don't think I'll be good at it, but I'll give it a try if you want me to, which he did. And I wasn't good at it. I knew I wouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, where do you want to go? And I said, well, sports shop.
So how long did you work at Neiman's?
Well, I got engaged about that time. So
Okay.
I needed my discount for all the things I was going to buy.
So you lasted till you got married?
Uh-huh.
That discount was
Got
nice.
my wedding dress there, my photographs, everything. I spent all my money there, and in those days, they gave us gifts for in proportion to what we spent. And I got 12 little cordial Steuben glasses.
Well, that was nice.
It was.
That
They
was-
don't do that anymore, I don't
No,
think.
they don't. I don't think. So then you got married and you had
Had
your
2
kids
children.
and you had your art career.
Well, not until the kids were a little older.
Okay, so that was just. Did you do things at home? Did you do
No.
painting or anything at home, or you just took a break from it for a while?
Did I do? I did a little at home. I enclosed half of the garage.
Did you make a studio?
Uh-huh. It was not wonderful, but it was better than nothing.
Did your kids inherit any of your artistic ability?
My daughter was a writer, wrote children's books.
Mm-hmm. She illustrated
And
as well.
A number. No, she didn't illustrate them. She just wrote them.
Mm-hmm.
And she had 7 books.
Wow, that's impressive. And so, where did your kids go to school? In
They
Dallas.
went to Hillcrest.
Mm-hmm. So you lived in North. When did you move to North Dallas?
I was 9 years old, and my parents built a house. And there was no one around us.
Do you remember what street you were on?
Shenandoah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I lived there for the rest of my life till I got married.
Okay.
And it turns out it was in Highland Park. As the Dallas grew around it,
Mm-hmm.
it became a good location. I don't think they knew it at the beginning, but
So once you got married, where did you live? What part of town did you live in?
North Dallas. There was a building there that all the young married people lived in, but it's gone now. They've torn it down.
Mm-hmm. An
Sorry.
apartment or
Uh-huh.
high rise.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And then when you bought a house, where did you live?
Well, I was in a duplex until I got pregnant again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we couldn't find anybody that would take babies. So we had to build a small house.
Mm-hmm.
But it was right there on, where was it? Jamestown,
Mhm.
near Preston Road.
Mm-hmm. And how long did you live there? Did you raise your kids there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they went to Hillcrest and
Mhm.
grew up. And when,
Bradfield.
okay, and then when you decided you weren't going to live in a house anymore, when was that?
We got zero lot line,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm. And when did you move here?
Well, my husband died, and we were both going to move here, but
Mhm.
they didn't get it built quick enough.
Okay, so you were on some of the early
Yeah. it was-
early people that were planning to move in
I
here.
was planning to move in. I didn't want to take care of a house,
Mhm.
and I just didn't.
Mm-hmm. So he passed away, and then you moved here.
2 years later, when they built it,
Okay.
when they got it finally built.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I'm a charter member.
you were with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was Dallas like during your childhood?
It was a safe place,
Mhm.
not like now.
Yeah. How do you think the Jewish community has changed over the years?
I don't.
Do you think it? I mean, has it
It's gotten
grown,
so
expanded?
bigger, so
Mhm.
big.
Mm-hmm.
We used to know everybody, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but now that would be an impossible thing.
Right. Right. What are some of the things that you're most proud of from your life?
Don't know.
You've done a lot of things.
No, I really haven't.
You had a very successful career, and you
Well,
have children, and you
Well,
have
of course, my
friends.
children,
Mm-hmm. And
my
what?
child,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, that's very sad. What do you do to fill your time now?
Well, I play Maj a lot.
Mm-hmm. Did you travel a lot?
We did.
Where were some of the places you like to go?
Well, China was my favorite. It was the most unusual,
Mm-hmm.
but that's when my husband was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to travel now. it's too hard.
Yeah. Did you like to go on cruises, or did you go?
We went on cruises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Went to Italy, France. Can't remember.
Okay.
I should have kept my notebooks that I took.
No. Let me think. Do you have any role models?
I'm not sure what you
Or
mean.
people that you admired, people that when you were growing up, you aspired to do some of the things that they did or be like them? No?
No,
Okay.
not really.
Okay. Tell me about how you like to spend your time. You like to play mahjong. You see Randy and his kids a lot?
Not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's working
Mm-hmm.
at the plant, which is way away from here, an hour's drive. So I don't get there as often, very often, which I would like to.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it was small, and now it's grown.
Have a lot of employees working for him now. Okay. Are there any things that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about? Anything we haven't covered?
No, you've covered more than enough.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Artyce, for talking to me today.